Love him or hate him, Ari Shaffir is one of the most divisive comedians of our time. To his fans, he's a raw, fearless truth-teller, someone who will say the unsayable and laugh at the consequences. To his critics, he's a reckless provocateur, crossing lines that most wouldn't dare approach. Whether it's his crass and unapologetic humor, his amazing racist sketches that launched him into infamy, or the chaos of dosing his friends, Ari has built a career on pushing buttons and testing boundaries. But beneath the controversy and the crash jokes is a comedian who lives by one rule: always be honest. From his days at the Comedy Store to the Kobe Bryant tweet that forced him to flee home, this is the story of Ari Shaffir, the man who refuses to apologize no matter how many people he pisses off. Because at the end of the day, he's not just a comedian. He's a reminder that comedy isn't always meant to make you feel comfortable.
Get in there nice and deep like.
Ari grew up in a strict Orthodox Jewish family. After high school, he attended seminary in Jerusalem for a few years but quit after realizing he didn't believe in God. To say Ari's father, a Holocaust survivor, was upset would be an understatement.
My dad said, even a dog believes in God, you must be lower than a dog.
Ari went on to graduate from the University of Maryland with a degree in English literature before moving to Hollywood to pursue a career in comedy. Answering phones at the Comedy Store turned into shifts working the cover booth and eventually working the door. 4.5 years later, he was made a paid regular. During this time, Ari created a skit series called The Amazing Racist. It was dark, provocative, and exactly what you'd expect from Ari. Love it or hate it, The Amazing Racist was Ari doing what he does best: being controversial.
Hello, I'm Ari Shaffir. You know, America's had it pretty rough lately. And in tough times such as these, our country turns to its heroes to give us back our sense of swagger. Heroes such as myself. Welcome to The Amazing Racist.
Can I ask you a question? I'm trying to get a petition going. I'm trying to get Jews to apologize for killing Jesus. So I'm trying to get as many signatures as I can.
What are you doing in a Jewish market here talking to Jews this way?
Why do you talk like that?
Why
do all you guys talk like such victims? Like that's what you sound like all the time.
Can I interest you guys in a boat ride? We're giving away free boat rides today.
Boat ride?
Yeah, it's just a free boat ride. We're trying to get, what do you guys call yourself, African Americans to back to Africa. You know, where you're from.
Hey man, I'm from here. What the hell are you talking about?
There's been a lot of talk about how white people stole black people and brought them here. So we're trying to make up for those wrongs by offering free trips back.
I'm from here, man. I'm from this city. What the hell are you talking about?
Please, Dr. Huxtable, take it down a notch. I'm just trying to help you.
During his time at the Comedy Store, Ari struck up a friendship with Joe Rogan, which would become a pivotal relationship in his career. Ari even appeared on episode 3 of the Joe Rogan Experience and became a staple of the podcast over the years. Excluding the Fight Companion episodes, Ari Shaffir holds the record for the most appearances on the Joe Rogan Experience. His friendship with Rogan was a key part of his rise in comedy, as it gave him a platform to showcase his unfiltered humor to a massive audience, leading up to the release of his first special, Passive Aggressive. As Ari's fame grew, he began branching out into side projects, including a podcast called Punch Drunk Sports with Sam Tripoli. One of Ari's most infamous blow-ups happened during an episode when the producer, known as Fat Man, botched the audio. It was a moment that captured his reputation for being both brutally honest and unapologetically volatile.
And that's how we're supposed to take phone calls for our 100th episode? That's how we're supposed to take phone calls? Do not do? That's supposed to help us? You asshole, I'm glad I never learned your name. Get out! Get out! If you're not helping, why are you here? I'm serious.
Ari!
Get out and go home.
No! We have to live with him!
Get out and go home.
No, Fat Man, stop! Don't listen
Why is he here? Why is he here?
Because he is actually a
What is he
part.
doing?
He's helping,
No, he's
even
a
though
bad
he
part.
fucked.
Get out and go home.
No, don't go, Fat Man!
You're not helping us
Don't
at all.
give up!
You're only hurting us.
You're
with your
gonna
lack-
make James
with your lack
cry.
of-
Tripoli tried to step in and defuse the situation, but Ari wouldn't let up.
Get out! Just get out! Go home! Go home! Hey, Fat Man, go home. Get out and go home. Go take a smoke break for 2 hours. You're not wanted here. You're adding nothing. Go home. I'm not sorry that I'm hurting you. Get out of here. Leave. Just leave if you're not going to help. Fix the phones or leave. Are you fixing the phones?
Man,
you got the show. All right, Fat Man, get out. You're just a distraction. Get the
I don't even know how to fix that.
All you do is give us bad drops. Get the out or fix it. Are you moving to fix it or get out? It should be one or the other right now. Then get out. Then go home. Get the out and go home. Do you understand me? You for our show 2 weeks in a row. Get out and go home. Go talk to your boss and tell him we don't want you anymore. Get out. Are you too fat to move? Get out. Go stuff out in the parking lot.
Jesus
Christ. You're not wanted here.
Ari, nobody should ever.
Why? What's he done? He hasn't helped us at all. He's only hurt us.
He's a
Get the
human being.
and he's an asshole who's up. He should be fired.
All right,
He shouldn't
Ari.
have this job. Do you get paid to do this?
Yes.
Then you're not earning it. Get the out. Angelo, can you hear me? Earn your money. Get the out.
This incident was one of the first glimpses of Ari outside the context of a comedy set or a scripted sketch, revealing a side of him that audiences hadn't seen before. That is, until the story of him assaulting Bobby Lee came out. The story goes like this. Bobby and Ari were friends, both regulars at the Comedy Store. Bobby was also friends with Ron Peterson, his former Mad TV castmate. One night, Bobby and Ron were hanging out at the Comedy Store, and Ron spotted Ari's girlfriend at the time, Natasha Leggero.
I bring Ron Peterson to the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
She's performing in the belly room.
Yeah,
right.
Tiger Belly Room.
Yeah, Tiger Belly Room. And he says, that girl's hot. I go, yeah. She's dating my friend Ari. He's like, I don't care. I don't know him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. So I go down to the OR to just set. He stayed up there. He got her number. Right?
Yeah.
Then we leave. I don't know anything about it at that point. But apparently he's now
Sending
wooing
her,
her.
love letters,
flowers, sending her flowers,
yeah,
taking her to like the opera.
Oh, wow. That was like
fancy.
Right towards the right as we were breaking up.
Right,
the opera. That was like I think one of their first dates or something.
How did you find out about it?
About what?
Him.
I had her password for her email, and I was reading the fucking love letters he was sending her.
When Ari found out that Ron had been talking to Natasha, he thought Bobby was the one who had set them up, and even tried to force Bobby to hack into Ron's computer at Mad TV. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. It goes a long way in pushing my content out to a wider audience. Gracias.
Out of nowhere, Ari calls me. She left me, dude. I go, yeah, but she goes, you set them up.
Oh, God.
Right? I go, I didn't set them up. Why would I do that? He goes, you did it. And here's how I know you did it. I go, how? If you don't do this for me right now, this thing I'm going to ask you to do, I know that you set them up.
Whoa.
What was the thing?
What was the thing?
Break into his office at Mad TV.
Yeah.
Go into his computer and steal the emails between Ron and
wow.
and
That's some intense
Natasha.
shit.
Bobby was caught in the middle, loyal to Ari as a close friend, but also needing to maintain his relationship with Ron, especially since they worked together. So when Ron asked Bobby to call Ari to see if he knew anything about Ron and Natasha dating, Ari started to put it all together.
I pieced together the pieces that you were calling me because Ron was like, "Hey, find out if they're still dating or if they fully broke up."
Oh, I did not know this part of the story.
I pieced it together.
Ari felt betrayed. To him, it wasn't just that Bobby was calling around for information on behalf of the guy now dating his ex-girlfriend. He thought Bobby had orchestrated the entire thing. The next time Ari saw Bobby at the Comedy Store, all that bottled up anger turned into a full-blown physical confrontation.
The first time,
John Wick
right,
style.
he hit me from behind and he kicked my face like 18 times.
Wait, I don't mean to laugh. He kicked your face?
Yeah, where I was bleeding from my face. And then a week later, he strangled me to the point where I turned purple and my neck was bleeding.
And you guys are friends now?
Yeah.
Ari assaulted Bobby on one more occasion before he was ultimately banned from the Comedy Store. But the drama didn't end with the altercations. Shortly after, Ari was offered a role on Mind of Mencia, one of Comedy Central's most popular shows at the time. A career-changing opportunity for any young comedian. When Bobby heard about it, he called Carlos Mencia directly.
I had no problem with Ari Shaffir, right? No problem. Bobby calls me up and says, dude, Ari just beat the shit out of me. Do not put him on your show.
Because of how close Ari and Joe Rogan were, and still are, many believe this incident was the breaking point for Joe, leading to his infamous onstage confrontation with Carlos Mencia. That moment marked the beginning of Mencia's fall from grace and his eventual exile from the comedy world. Being banned from the Comedy Store and denied a role on Mind of Mencia didn't stop Ari. He went on to release 2 more stand-up specials, Paid Regular and Double Negative, and continued his role on the Joe Rogan Experience and dozens of other podcasts. But then, in the span of a single day, Ari went from being a polarizing comedian to one of the most hated people on the planet. It was January 26, 2020. Kobe Bryant's helicopter crashed, killing everyone on board, including Kobe and his daughter Gianna. The tragedy left fans mourning the loss of an NBA legend and his family. But Ari's response would spark a level of outrage few could have anticipated. Just hours after the crash, Ari posted a tweet that many found inappropriate given the timing. Ari followed it up with a video doubling down on the remarks with his trademark humor.
Kobe Bryant is a god. I'm here in Charlotte, the home of the team that originally drafted him. Maybe he would chicken Denver if he had stayed in Charlotte with the Hornets. I know there's always a lot of hate, pain in the world, and there's always a bunch of terrible stories. And every once in a while, there's a good story. Good story comes out. The guy who got away got his today.
The backlash from Ari's joke was immediate. He never apologized but did respond saying, "Every time a beloved celebrity dies, I post some horrible stuff about them. When a famous person dies, they're at their most worshipped. So as a response to all of the outpouring of sympathy on social media, I post something vile. It's just a joke. I don't really hate any of the people." Because of the backlash, one of his upcoming shows was canceled after the venue received threats. Faced with the massive fallout, he decided to step back and disconnect from everything.
Called an Uber, and then I put my phone in my drawer, left it there, and just took off. Just left. Wanted to,
Just wander, as some would say.
Got a hotel the first night. Then I started getting hostels.
Yeah.
Stayed in Myanmar for like almost 4 weeks. Thailand for a little bit. Cambodia. Vietnam.
Fuck any hookers?
Yes.
It was nearly impossible for anyone to defend Ari publicly at the time, given how beloved Kobe was. But out of all of the responses to Ari's tweet, none stood out more than that of Bert Kreischer's daughter.
You should have seen the look on my daughter's face when they go, like, it was like almost like, yeah, of course that's what he did. Yeah, he also drugged my dad in front of me.
This brings us to what is arguably the most controversial moment of Ari's career, the time he dosed Bert Kreischer. The two were set to record a podcast, a seemingly normal day in their long-standing friendship. But before they hit record, Ari made Bert a drink and secretly slipped some Molly into it.
And you just spiked his drink?
Yeah, yeah.
High blood pressure, high cholesterol.
Emptied out 3 guys, you're all talking
I would
about
want
what
to
ifs.
kill you.
Yeah,
He wanted to for about 10 minutes until the Molly kicked in, and then he was fine. How fun was it?
Let's talk about the positives. It's Molly. I had to fly that night. I was on a plane going like, when's this stop? Because I didn't know that orange juice kicks it back up. So I'm drinking
orange juice kicks it back
vitamins
up?
for C.
I don't know.
You drink a lot of orange juice generally?
Plane, I'm drinking, trying to get hydrated because I'm Molly. And so I'm drinking Tito's and orange juice.
Bert would later admit that despite everything, he ended up having one of the best times of his life that night. But even that couldn't overshadow the reality of what had happened. Bert's wife Leanne was especially furious and made it clear that Ari was no longer welcome in their home.
Oh, she hates his guts. She hates him in a way that not many people. She really hates him, like really hates him. And that was what bothered me about when he mollied me, was I was like, it's so funny. He wants me to release the podcast. I will never release the podcast. It does not make him look. It not only does it not make him look good. First of all, it's proof that he committed a crime. That's number one. And number two, it's just it. He's like, it's funny, and I go, it's not, because you see in my eyes a person who thinks I might die, and you can see that, and I see it clearly. But you also see like me realizing Ari just up our friendship, and I was like, that's what bothered me the most out of it. Is like, when it happened, I go, you just made it so my kids will hate you, and now my wife will hate you, and you can never come to my house, and I can never go on vacation with you because my wife will always go, don't go. I don't want you going.
Yeah.
And you also made it so that I don't really feel safe around you entirely. And I was like, in the podcast, I kept going, why would you do this?
Despite the backlash from the comedy community and the strain it placed on his friendship with Bert and Bert's family, Ari's dosing antics didn't stop there. In a bizarre twist of fate, during an episode of Legion of Skanks, Louis J. Gomez decided to give Ari a taste of his own medicine. In an attempt to get revenge for Ari dosing Bert, Louis slipped a tab into Ari's drink.
Tell him the secret. Ari Shaffir was dosed with LSD an hour ago.
Louis just told me like 5 minutes ago, and I've been watching Ari stare at the lights for the last 5 minutes.
Watch Ari for the past 20 minutes. He's going,
no.
What Louis, Jay, and Dave didn't realize was that Ari saw exactly what had happened. Instead of calling it out, Ari decided to swap his spiked drink with Big Jay Okerson, someone who had never taken a tab in his life.
You think I didn't take my beer and give it to Jay?
no. No, there's no way.
Oh, really? Because I sound like I'm fine right now.
Dude, can I tell you something? I thought there was something weird in my beer.
Do I sound weird? Do I look? Do I not know what it looks like?
Wow.
I look like I'm on acid. You dork! I stand for mayhem. You don't stand for mayhem.
Holy shit! I've never taken acid in my life.
You gobbled that thing up, dude. That thing's in you.
What?
Yeah, Ari, you were acting this whole time? That was phenomenal, dude.
That was awesome.
Dude, I told
How have you never been cast on anything huge?
Even though Shane is close friends with Big J, he's also tight with Ari. So when the prank unfolded, Shane let the joke play out. Shane's friendship with Ari runs deeper than most realize. Ari and Bert were two of the comedians in the Rogan sphere who persistently pushed Joe to give Shane a chance and bring him on the Joe Rogan Experience. That opportunity was a turning point in Shane's career, and because of it, Shane has a soft spot for Ari.
He's like the opposite of Ellen, though. Ellen, everybody thought was a sweetheart. She ended up being a nightmare. Everybody thinks Ari's a nightmare.
Great guy.
He's behind the scenes a little sweetheart.
I've been friends with Ari since he was an open micer working as a door guy.
Despite Ari's antics, Shane manages to see past the mayhem and appreciate the loyalty Ari shows to his friends. Comedy fans might argue it's easier for Shane to say that. After all, Ari never dosed him. But even Bert, the most infamous victim of Ari's pranks, admits that Ari is still one of his best friends and one of the sweetest guys he knows.
It's so tough to explain to people why I love you. And it is.
Oh my God.
It is. You're the sweetest guy that I know. You're the most thoughtful, sensitive, insightful, funniest guy I know. You're one of my favorite human beings alive. And I have to stand next to you drugging me every time to defend you. Every time.
Whether you love him for his brutal honesty or hate him for crossing the line, one thing is certain. Ari is a polarizing figure who has left his mark on comedy.